Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss about the cardiac axis. Cardiac axis basically refers to the direction of movement of depolarization. As I have explained in the first video of about the conduction system of heart, I have explained it in detail how the depolarization begins at the SA node, then to the AV node, and via the annulus fibrosus, how it reaches and complete the final cardiac cycle. Now here, as you can see, the direction of arrow. This is representing the cardiac axis. If I just draw it here, it's just like the 11 o'clock of the clock and it's the 5. Like we can say it's in the direction of 11 to 5 o'clock direction. And roughly it representing the 60 degree. So to the 60 degree, we say it the cardiac axis of heart. And this is totally the normal cardiac axis. If I just draw here the axis like this, so any deviation, it lies in this quadrant. So any deviation from this quadrant, you call it either the left deviation or to the right deviation. Like just suppose you call the deviation towards this is called as the left axis deviation, and towards here you can say it's the right axis deviation. So it's all about the abnormalities and pathologies which changes the cardiac axis either to the left or right. Now just doing a quick review of the Enthovian's triangle. This is Enthovian's triangle. This is the limb lead 1 showing the 0. This is the limb lead 2 almost on the 60 axis. The limb lead 2 has a significance. It's directly in the direction of heart. So it's the limb lead 3 showing the 120 degree. If we add up to the augmented leads AVR, AVL and AVF, we get the whole circle representing the cardiac axis. So here's a misconception about the cardiac axis. If the AVR is in the direction of minus 150 degree, that doesn't mean it's already in the right axis deviation. That means these all the limb leads, these vectors are present between the minus 30 to minus 90. If I just draw here a simple line, like if we just talk about the degree 0, on degree 0 we have what? We have the lead 1. If the lead 1 has a vector in the direction of this, just suppose we have in the direction of this is we called as the direction of limb lead 1 or the cardiac axis of limb lead 1, and it's the normal, all the limb leads and their vectors lies between minus 30 to AVF. Just suppose if we talk about the AVR, if the AVR is normal, where the AVR is placed is normal, it may have the cardiac axis either here or here in any direction. So we call it, it all lies in the normal direction. But if we just got it like the limb lead 1, limb lead 1 has an axis there. If I just draw another axis of limb lead 1 in this direction, at this point I can call it as the limb lead 1 or its axis is deviated to right. That means abnormality lies in the limb lead 1 axis. We will see it in complete detail in the next sections. Now what does the cardiac axis deviation means? The cardiac axis deviations, as I've explained it earlier, if I talk about the limb lead 2 here, limb lead 2 is exactly in the direction of heart and almost lie on the 60 degree. So what does mean to be deviated to the either to the left or either to the right? So if, and let me change the pointer. If I just draw here another vector, that means it's basically deviated to the right. It's right now. So here it will be deviated like that. So if it's deviated towards the right side, we call it as the right axis deviation. So if the limb blade 2 is normal, we got the complex like that, the positive complex. But if we got the right axis deviation, we will get the QRS complex as negative. This is the significance, and we can clearly see it on the ECG. Now, it's the way how the every lead is deviated either to the right, left, or extremely left. So, this is about the augmented and limb leads. So, about the chest leads, we have a bit different way to deviate to right or left. If we just talk about here, lead V3 and V4 are basically lies centrally. So they have the positive QRS complex and quite similar to the other, like that. We have the positive QRS complex here. So if the lead V3 and V4 are normal, we say it the normal QRS complex. But if it is rotated either to the extreme left, we call it the left rotation, and if it changes in this direction, we call it as the right rotation. So that's how the vectors are rotated and deviated, and all the changes we can clearly see on the ECG. In this diagram, you can see here, if I just draw a simple vector here, like just talk about the limb bleed 2. Just suppose about the limb bleed 2. So here we have two terms, the left ventricular hypertrophy and right ventricular hypertrophy. So if we have the vector in this direction as the direction of the cardiac axis, it means on the 60 angle. So if it's deviated to further left, like in this direction, it's left deviated. It's deviated in the left side. So we call it as the left ventricular hypertrophy. But if the same vector, we can say here we got in this direction, means deviated to the right, we call it as the right ventricular hypertrophy. That's how we pick the pathologies on the ECG. Now moving towards the next one, this is the 3D view. You can see which part is involved by the segments and which parts can be easily pathologically identified on the ECG. So here's the limb lead 1. If the any pathology in this part, it will be clearly seen in the limb lead 1. And these all are aspects are covered by the chest leads. So their abnormalities are picked up by the chest limb. So every abnormality that is picked up on the ECG, either the deviation or any pathology, can easily be picked up by the ECG. So you must memorize all the parts and where the ECGs lies and where the limb and chest leads are being placed. So how to interpret the cardiac axis? That's the most important part. There are three methods. Two are very important methods. Like first one is the quadrant method. Quadrant method is the method we placed every day, even in the wards. The second one is the isoelectric method. So before discussing the methods, I will explain you about the QRS complexes, because we just see the QRS complex, either the positive, negative, or isoelectric, and from where we pick the cardiac axis. What does the positive and negative deflection means? So here I am placing an arrow. If the arrow of depolarization is towards the lead, so we call it as positive, and the positive QRS complex will be formed like that. If the direction of arrow is opposite, if it's away from the depolarization, it's away from the lead, we call it as the negative, and we got the negative QRS complex, downward QRS complex. But what if we get the same, like either in the up this direction or this direction? What will we get? If we get the this direction, we'll get the isoelectric QRS complex, same above the axis, same below the axis, like the equal QRS complex. So this is the pathology. If I just draw here a circle, just ignore the circle right here. The circle has 4 quadrants. If I just talk about the normal quadrant, I label it as the normal one. This is the normal quadrant. This is the left axis deviation. This I labeled as the right axis deviation. And this is the extreme right axis deviation. Like it occurs in pathologies where these vectors are involved. So how you can predict about the cardiac axis and in the leads. So now I'm going to talk about the quadrant method. In the quadrant method, we talk about the 2 leads. First one is the lead 1, and the second one, the most important, is the AVF. How you can interpret either it's the positive deviation or negative deviation, just focus on the QRS complexes. If the QRS complex is positive in lead 1 and positive in AVF, we call it the normal cardiac axis. If it's positive in lead 1 and negative in AVF, means downward direction, then we call it as the left axis deviation, and vector will somewhere lie between these quadrants. This is the left axis deviation. So if the QRS is negative in lead 1 and positive in AVF, we call it as the right axis deviation, and vector will lie somewhere between this quadrant. And extreme deviation, we got the both negatives. That means in both leads, depolarization is away from the lead, like pathology lies there. This is basically called the quadrant method. Now we'll talk about the isoelectric method. Isoelectric is quite easy method. In isoelectric, we just pick the 2 leads, AVL with the lead 2. So if I just talk about the leads right here, AVL is basically the isoelectric. Like if you just see the ECG wave, the normal AVL is isoelectric, like that. So we set the AVL as the reference point, and in lead 2, if the action potential is towards the same direction, the lead will be positive. We will see the above QRS complex. That's we called as the axis pointed to the same direction. But if the axis is in the opposite direction, the lead 2 will show the negative complex. This is the second rough method by which you can interpret the cardiac axis. Now here is another method. You can see here the left axis deviation and right axis deviation. We take the three leads, lead 1, 2, and 3. If we just see the three leads, three limb leads, in the left axis deviation, we have the positive 1. Positive 1 means it will be in this direction, and 2 and 3 will show the negative QRS complexes. Normally, what has happened? Normally, the 2 has, the limb lead 2 has greater QRS complex than the 3. And we mostly see this lead for the interpretation of QRS complex. This is called the left axis deviation. In left axis deviation, I repeat, the lead 1 is positive and other two leads are negative. It's the significance of that. The other axis, that is called the right axis deviation, the lead 3 is positive and 1 is negative. Now you can see in both of the video leads, lead 1 is opposite to the lead 3 and lead in left axis deviation, and in right axis deviation lead 1 turns negative. So it's mostly occurs in the right hypertrophy. Now after explaining the three methods, let's just interpret the apply the first method here. The first method is the quadrant method, where we see about the lead 1 and AVF. Here is the first method, lead 1 and lead AVF. Where is the AVF? So the QRS complexes are positive in both of the leads. So you can clearly see this ECG has a normal cardiac axis. Now just moving towards the second method. In the second method, we have set the AVL as the reference. You can see here it's the isoelectric QRS complex here. Now compare it with the lead 2. Lead 2 has the positive QRS complex. That means the normal cardiac axis. And if we just saw the third method by comparing the 1, 2, and 3 leads, all the 3 leads, you can see all the 3 leads has positive QRS complex. That means this ECG shown the normal cardiac axis. I hope it all clear your concepts about the cardiac axis. Stay tuned for the more videos. Thank you.